Hey guys, I think it's time for another weekly market overview. There's a lot to talk about, let's get straight into it. First and foremost, Bitcoin, let's do some technicals. Bitcoin has been fizzling down a little bit and broke below 30k, which is both higher time frame and lower time frame still a very significant level. And then it looked like we were going to test this 28k higher time frame level, but Bitcoin front ran it, which is actually good. I like seeing that because it means that there's demand over here. Then we formed this new mini range over here with a local low over here, which actually got stop hunted, as you can see over here with this little wick. So we had a local low, a stop hunt, stops got triggered, licks got triggered, and then we started moving higher again, retesting this 30k level again. So far, 30k is still resistance, but I actually like seeing this. This structure, in my opinion, is bullish. This 28k level got front ran, we had a local low over here, liquidity got taken, then we moved up. So there is some power in the market, and now we're retesting 30k. Of course, we can only go full bull when 30k gets reclaimed, and then reaccumulation over here, some ranging, and then we can try to move higher again. That is ideally what you want to see. And then you also have this like potential inverse head and shoulders meme that you can try to draw if you want. It doesn't really matter, but yeah, the structure looks bullish. A reclaim of 30k would be awesome. We also still have this BlackRock ETF narrative going on, which is actually getting stronger. We have these Bloomberg analysts saying that in their opinion it is actually becoming very likely that BlackRock's application will get accepted. And apparently some BlackRock insiders have also leaked that they're very confident that the ETF will go through. They say that it's a matter of when and not if, so take it with a grain of salt, of course, but it seems like this ETF narrative is getting stronger. We also have some other fundamental or news-related stuff happening that's pretty interesting. PayPal is launching its own stablecoin. Now, of course, crypto natives like us don't really care about this, but this is good for crypto legitimacy in general. So I think that this is bullish, if anything. So yeah, the narrative is looking good. The general landscape is looking good. The technicals are starting to look good again. It was looking a bit gloomy for a bit, but it's starting to look good again, in my opinion. Let's look at some derivatives data, lower time frame. Open interest is currently actually quite high. And in my opinion, it's mostly dominated by directional shorts at the moment. The reason why open interest is high is because we just had a pump, and during that pump, open interest started skyrocketing again. And I think that there are some pretty clear clues that it's mostly dominated by shorts. So during this pump, we actually had quite a bit of short liquidations, as you can see over here. And usually when you have a bunch of short liquidations, you actually expect funding to go up because short liquidations are forced buys, right? So if there's a lot of market buying going on, you would expect funding to go up. But despite all of these short liquidations, open interest kept rising and funding actually kept going down, which tells me that a lot of people are trying to fade this pump. And currently we're seeing another push in open interest while price is going down. So again, I believe that this is a sign that people are trying to revenge short, or people are in disbelief. They don't believe that this rally will have legs, so they keep shorting into it. Funding doesn't get back to baseline. Baseline is 0.01 per 8 hours. It tried to reset after all of these shorts got liquidated. It tried to reset, went up again, but it doesn't even get to its neutral point at 0.01. So again, that tells me that people are trying to fade the rally. So yeah, that's something to look out for. Lower time frame, very interesting setup in my opinion. I personally have a bullish bias. Let's look at funding rates in general. As we can see, it's pretty low in general. Below baseline on all the big venues. Altcoins, same story. A lot of green, which in this case means negative funding rates, a lot of neutral funding rates, almost no positive funding rates, or at least not rates above baseline of 0.01. So yeah, the market is showing no signs of froth. I know that some people have been saying that there's a lot of euphoria if you look at your Twitter timeline, but the only real sentiment indicator is funding rates and futures basis, and those are still pretty low, so I don't see any signs of froth at the moment. A quick look at the books. Bitcoin, despite the fact that we pumped a little bit, we still have green deltas across the board in the spot order books, which means that there is in the current range, just below and above price, there's actually more demand sitting passively in the books than there is supply, which is pretty good. Again, that confirms my slightly bullish bias. Ethereum, very similar story, actually a little bit more bearish. There's relatively speaking a little bit more supply in the Ethereum book than on the Bitcoin book. And that actually makes sense to me. I think that Bitcoin is currently the most bullish asset, mainly because of this very powerful BlackRock spot ETF narrative that we still have going on. Now let's look at some other stuff. First, I'll do ETH technicals. We're still ping-ponging basically between this higher time frame 2K level and 1800. 1800 was support again. As long as that holds, I think there's no real reason to be bearish higher time frame on Ethereum, but it's definitely looking a little bit weaker comparatively to Bitcoin. I'm more bullish on Bitcoin. However, that doesn't mean that I'm bearish on Ethereum. This still looks pretty decent to me as long as 1800 holds. Then we also have something interesting going on with Optimism. So Coinbase is building their own layer 2 chain powered by Optimism. So the official launch for Coinbase's layer 2, which is called Base, is set at August 9. So that's actually today in theory. I'm not sure. I haven't kept up with it. I'm not sure if it's actually officially launching today or not. But they are building their base chain on Optimism. So that is, in theory, also bullish for Optimism if there's a lot of activity on Base. And I think we've seen that so far in price. Optimism has been one of the stronger coins. As long as 1.5 holds, this is higher time frame important support, you can have a bullish bias. I think it makes sense that we will gravitate eventually to this $2 level. That is the first magnet in my opinion. However, since we're talking about Optimism, there's something else that I want to point out. Optimism has been performing really well in recent times, and relatively speaking, it has been performing better price-wise than its main competitor Arbitrum. But Arbitrum is currently at a very interesting level, and I think that this is something to watch. I've also tweeted about this. I think it's possible that in the short term, Arbitrum will outperform Optimism a little bit. Optimism might be getting a little bit exhausted, although it's still looking bullish. And Arbitrum reached this key support of 1.1, and it currently broke out of this diagonal, this downtrend. So this is looking pretty decent. And then also, if we look at the ratio between Arbitrum and Optimism, you will see, just a second, let's use Binance again. You will see that it's actually currently at support. So this is the ratio between Arbitrum and Optimism, and it's been in a downtrend, but it's currently reaching support. And so I would take a look at this diagonal as well and see if it breaks out or not. If this breaks out, then Arbitrum could relatively to Optimism start outperforming. So yeah, there is still very much, mainly because of Coinbase, I believe, a layer 2 narrative in play at the moment as well. And yeah, I think that's the most important stuff. Thanks for watching. As usual, You know the deal. Like, subscribe, all that shit. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.